That's what every guitar player is going to do, but you can't walk your bass. You can walk your bass. And eventually we want to get there because we're going to write a big band piece. And so I want the bass to be cooking. Okay, so today I got to start off with my normal exercise, and because I'm going to be sitting all day making a new composition, kind of a bluesy sort of thing, and I have to start my day with a little bit of exercise if I'm going to sit so much. So let's see, we start this. Yep, so that's at least got to be 200 or 250 calories. Kind of burn off a little bit of weight as well as getting loose. So today I thought I'd just let you know we're going to go down to the studio, and I'm going to use a musical technique that I've designed for guitar, and we're going to try to write a blues tune. And not just a blues tune, but a blues tune based on what I call the guitar pentatonic dominant columns. So I'll review those. I've done a little bit of a video on these before, but we'll review quickly. And then I really want to show everybody, all the guitar players out there, how you can use this stuff to write great little songs. So I'm going to try to combine a bunch of goals. One of the goals is I'd like to have lyrics with the song as well. And so what I'm thinking, since Mita has a French connection, that I would write French lyrics and do it in a way where you'll get the French phrase, you could learn it, and it'd be fun to say. So I'm deciding what phrase to use. When we get down to the studio, that's probably one of the first things we'll do, is just look at some different French phrases. Then we'll look at the guitar columns, and I'll show you kind of what they are. And then I don't know how far we'll get today, but we'll get to writing the first verse form, maybe 2 verses, and begin the chorus sort of section, you know, the AAB section, or AABC, I'm not sure. We'll have to get on the instrument, but that's what I'm intending to do today. And I think it's going to be fun. I'm really excited about getting down there. You know, the interesting thing is when you make your living composing music and you get connected to the creative pool, which that's what we do. We as artists, you know, we start looking for things, gathering material, and before you know it, 3 hours went by. So I hope I won't bore you with 3 hours, but it's going to be fun. So I'll see you down in the studio after I burn my calories. Okay, so now that we've done that, let's go down to the studio. This is my theater room at the house. It's really a great room. You can see, I'll show you. So sometimes we have performances here. It's really quite a place. And so now I'm outside, and here's the lake. So we're going downstairs to the studio number 2, because this house has 2 studios. So this is studio number 2. It's very cold out. You can see we're doing a lot of work around the house. All the leaves are falling. The leaves are all falling, so the pool's kind of funky. The hot tub filters though, so I'll be in that later after I write a little bit of a song here. It's gonna be fun. So now we're going inside. We got double doors. This is composition studio. We call this Studio A because that's what we do. So I gotta see what all this stuff is. It's good. Anyway, so we're in the studio, and now the idea is to kind of map out the day. So the first thing I want to do is start getting some lyrics that have a little rhythm to them. And I want to tell a little story. So I think the story I want to do is because I just had my wife and I just had our anniversary. And so since that's a big day for us, because we were together for 15 years before we decided to get married. And now we're in the South. Everybody is very traditional here, so we are married. And we had a beautiful dinner together and a great day. And so I think we should have some fun French lyrics that have rhythm. And so there's a French phrase that I was looking at, and it basically is, I love you more than you know. Je t'aime plus que tu ne le sais. So it's da 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 da, right? Je t'aime plus que tu ne le sais. Okay, so if you want to learn that little phrase, it means I love you more than you know. And, I speak English and a little French and Spanish, but I always look at things musically. So, tu ne le sais, I just hear the word tuna. So, tu ne le sais. But that tu means you, and then you know. So, je t'aime plus que tu ne le sais. Okay, je t'aime plus que tu ne le sais. Ba-ba-do-ba, ba-do-ba-de-ba, ba-ba-de-ba, ba-do-ba-de-ba. That's a triplet feel. All right, so we're going to go boot up the studio and we'll pick it up from there. All right, bye. Okay, so this is going to be a very interesting day. The first thing is I'm going to gather materials. I want to gather materials. And I'm going to use the material in the text of guitar practice, full range practice, because there's some blues type stuff in there. So I want this to be a little bluesy tune. And with that French sort of lyric. So we're going to continue to do that. But the first thing is for me maybe to explain a little bit about what the material is coming from, where I'm going to be thinking about it. Because this is all in real time. So I don't want to get into a box here. So let me explain what's going on. All right, so I'm going to go to the Sibelius file. And everything I'm going to do today is coming from here. And this is a little weird to explain because there's a whole bunch of material ahead of this, but I'm going to show you on the guitar, so it's not going to be that weird. These are columns, and these columns come from someplace. There's actually 5 of these columns. There's positions. There's 2 columns to a position, or we call them column pairs. And so I'm going to show you. You can see these little shapes here. These are extracts from these little shapes. So, and of course, look at this. I've got the intervallic thinking here and the tab for guitar players. So we love guitar players. We want them to be able to compose easy. And so this is a gathering of material, and this is where we're going to gather it from. So let me go back and show you a little about that. Okay, so I'm going to be in A flat because that's a comfortable key for me. And so this is A flat here, right? And so these guys are and there's different positions. The next one's here. And so there's different positions. And this is all in the text, but I'm just going to show you. This is where I'm going to gather from. So in this position, there's 2 columns. The first column is the front of it. And the second column is the back of that. And so what I'm going to do is, these are all dominant sounding, so they're, sort of A flat dominant sounds. So I'm going to take this first column, and every other string I'm going to play the note. So, and so that's going to be my first chord. That's a 3-part 7th chord, and because it's blues, so I want that. And if I shift this column and just go to the next set of strings, I get this. Okay? Then blues, you go the 1 chord to the 4 chord, that sort of stuff. So the 4 chord is right here. Okay? And the 4 chord, the back half of this is up here. So, and if I want to go back to my A flat here, this is the back half of the A flat. So this is what I've got. So the idea is that I have all this information, and I'm gathering material. So I'm going to use these open voicings. These are open voicings, right? Because I could close them up. They could be this. Okay? But I don't want to do that, because if I open it, I have room inside to comp. So and that's the inside, guys, because the inside is this little rectangles here, and I have these guys' notes. So I can, it's fun because there's places to go. And we're sketching this on the guitar, this not on the piano. And we're doing that using music theory applied to the guitar, because this will end up being a big band piece. We're going to take these voicings and voice them out for big band. That's my concept. We'll see how far we get. It's going to take a while, though, so just follow me. So now I've got this, and that's kind of a blues move because it's a 1 chord to a 4 chord. And so I want my rhythm to be influenced by the phrase je t'aime plus, je t'aime plus que tu ne le sais, que tu ne le sais. Je t'aime plus que tu ne le sais. I want that rhythm, okay? Je t'aime plus que tu ne le sais. Ba, boo, ba, ba, dee, ba, da, ba. Okay? Boo, ba, boo, ba, ba. Boo, ba, boo, ba, ba. That would work. Now, that's not going to be my melody. I'm just trying to get a feel for the tune because we're gathering materials. And so I know I'm going to use these open voicings. So that's part of my material. But I also want to have some color. So, I can figure out different ways to do it. So this is the first part of it. Okay, that sounds like it could have a little bit of a French feeling to it. So, this will be much faster because it'll be do ba do 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 ba boo be ba do do ba boo be ba be ba boo boo. Right? I mean, that's how I'm hearing it. So now I want to find the columns that sort of work with those chords, and we're keeping this diatonic because those columns are vertical, so they're chords, and so we want it to make sense. So if I ba boo ba boo doo 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 doo, this could be boo doo boo doo 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 doo. Something like that. So I got that's kind of where I want to go. I know that didn't sound so great, but it's kind of where I want to go. I want to have a little turnaround. So boo, 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 dee, doo. Dee, boom, ba, boo, dee, boo. Dee, 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 dee. No. Dee, 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 doo, doo. Yeah, so da 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 do 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 do. I think that'll be kind of nice. And of course, I know I have to work on the melody a little bit. Can't do everything at once. Okay, this is a slow process. So now let's think about the lyric a little bit. I like the idea of the French phrase, but I like the idea of not being academic. So academic that it's okay, try to keep up with me, all you English speakers. So let's just say something in French and then say it in English. The translation or close to it, So I love you more than you know. Je t'aime plus que tu ne le sais. Je t'aime plus que tu ne le sais. I love you more and more each day. It could say, because it rhymes with say, right? So, je t'aime plus que tu ne le sais. I love you more and more each day. Now let's go back to a French phrase. Okay, so I love you more and more each day. That's not our first phrase. So maybe I should translate that into French, and that would be je t'aime plus en plus, more and more. Je t'aime plus en plus. Chaque jour, each and every, chaque jour, c'est vrai, because that rhymes. Chaque jour, c'est vrai. So that means I love you more and more each day. It's true. That's what that means. I'm not going to perform this instantly here, but I think so. The third time around, I could say, je t'aime plus en plus, chaque jour c'est vrai. That fits. And then I need maybe in English, ba ba boo, boo 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 boo. So I would answer that in English. So we have to figure out what the English would be. And so that is going to be kind of the first verse. I just have to figure out, so if it's I think this is good, right? And so all these are from the columns. And let me go back and show you a little bit about the columns here so we can have some fun with that. Okay, so these are the columns, right? So I've got this guy, and this guy. These three guys are my first chord. And then this guy, and this guy are my second chord. Right? That's my first chord and my second chord. And so if I transpose this all the way up to the 4 chord. Okay, so here's A flat and here's D flat. So now I have this. That's the same as this, but I want to play it on these strings because it's right there, see? And look how simple this is. It's just straight across. And it's so much better than going. That's what every guitar player is going to do, but you can't walk your bass. You can walk your bass, and eventually we want to get there because we're going to write a big band piece, and so I want the bass to be cooking. It can be a contemporary rhythm, but it'll be in triplet feel. You know, so I know we're a long way from that, but we're just writing this tune, and that's what we're gathering materials. So what have we gathered so far? We've gathered kind of a chord progression, a little bit of a chord progression. Of a verse. Okay, that's just of a verse. And so I've got to work on it a little bit, right? It's not done by far, but I got an idea of where I want to go. So we're gathering that material. This isn't even a sketch yet. The sketch will be when we have the whole form. All right. So we're gathering, sketch, and then development. That's going to be the stages of all this. And this is going to be over a few days. It's not going to happen immediately. So hopefully you stick with it, because if we get it to the big band, you'll see where it starts off simple and it ends up cooking. And that's what we want to do. Okay, so now I want to get a little bit of an idea of a second sort of section. And I think it could be great if we go from here. Let's see. Yeah, it could be that. Okay, so that'll be the turnaround. Kind of. We're going to put so many beautiful little colors in here, though, using the theories. But right now, that's just a kind of a little bit of an arc of what we could do. So I'm back here. So I end up back here. Da, 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 da. And now we can use a very simple diatonic transition, which is from your main key, down 1 and up 5. That's the diatonic thing. And that'll take me to here. And when I do that diatonic change, it'll be orchestrated a little different. So I might do it up here. So, right? So, see, boom, boom, ba do do do, da dee 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 do, da do, dum, and then 1 down and 5 up. So, right? Bum, bum, bum. Now I'm here. Okay, so that's relative minor, and that's in a million tunes. So we're trying to keep this simple, but we got French lyrics that we're going to write. We haven't written those. We only have written 2 phrases. Okay, that's another lesson, a French thing. But a lot of these, this is great because this is... That's a typical diatonic passage. So it's you've heard it a million times. So that I just did that. And I have to remember what I did. Luckily, it's being recorded here. But that gets us into a beautiful key change, which is 3 up from the A flat, because now I'm in B. And why do I like that? So it's up here. Because I can do the down 1 and 5 up and be back into my A flat. So when I'm looking to write a tune, I'm thinking 1, 5. So that means 1 down, 5 up gets me to the relative minor. You should remember that. So no matter where I am, if I'm in, let's say I'm in A, because guitar players, they relate to A, right? Right? So the relative minor is F sharp. So you hear this all the time. Okay, so watch this. That gets me to the relative minor. So that's what we did. And then we did it again to get to the nice shift of keys, which is the key of B. Because when we're in the key of B, it's really nice to be able to have that freshness against the blues changes. And as a big band tune, this is going to be great because it's going to be a very hearty tune with lots of super cool changes. So we accomplished a lot. We'll probably do some more today, but I think tomorrow is going to be a really fun day because tomorrow we're going to spend a lot of time working out some subtleties and getting some little pieces of connection stuff to some of the columns in the comping. So those will all translate to brass sections and woodwind sections. And so we'll hone in more on the real time of what's going on, see if we can get a little more of a feel for it. But that's the general direction of the tune. And so let's give it a title. Let's give this tune a title. So we have in our head, part of the gathering was we gathered a title. Okay, and that title was easy. We just thought of something nice we wanted to say. And so, je t'aime plus que tu ne le sais.